Hey everyone, I'm Jacob with J&M Pool Company, one of the owners, and today we are getting a ton of calls of people worried about the freeze damage that's coming through. We got a winter storm coming. They're telling us that we could lose power. What do you do? Well, you got the guy with the answers right here, so let me run you through it. All right everyone, so this is what we do once we've lost power. I do not want to do this if the pool equipment is still running. I want it to run through freezing temps. But if I've lost power, now everything is subject to freeze damage, I'm coming over to my control box first, and I'm gonna cut off all the breakers. All right, reason I'm doing this is I'm about to winterize the pool equipment and put blankets over it, and I do not want this to cut back on once I've done that. So next thing I'm gonna do after killing the power is I'm gonna go over to the pool equipment and I'm gonna start with my pump and I'm gonna remove these two plugs. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna drain all the water out of here. It's not gonna freeze, it's not gonna expand, and it's not going to damage my extremely expensive pump. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open the air relief on my filter. This is a cartridge filter, but every filter type is going to have a plug that needs to be removed. All right, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my screwdriver, I'm going to go up to my filter plug, which is on the back and bottom of the filter. I'm just going to loosen this. As you can see, this is going to empty out my filter, prevent me from having any freeze damage on the inside of this filter. All right, the next two pieces of equipment I'm gonna winterize are my electric heat pump and my salt cell. I'm gonna do this by removing the unions. Okay, so I'm going over here and I'm going to unthread this union. So I'm just loosening this, and that's gonna allow the water to drain out. Now I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the salt cell, where I'm going to loosen this union and allow the water to drain out of this heat pump. You can see the water draining out right there. I just removed the water from each piece of equipment on this equipment pad. Now every equipment pad is different, but most of your main items are always going to have a plug or a union that can be removed or loosened. You want to get the water out of the equipment. Now if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and there's an ice storm going on, are you going to come out here in the freezing cold and do all this? You can, but you might not want to, or it might not be safe. And if that's the case, and you can do this whether you've winterized the pool equipment or not, I'm going to cover the equipment. I want to take the wind chill off of it. I want to maintain as much of the heat as I can on this pad, and I'm going to do that by putting blankets over the pool equipment or a tarp. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so I'm going to be putting the blanket over my plumbing and my main pieces of equipment. All right, and obviously, the bigger the equipment pad, the more blankets I'm gonna need. But you're gonna learn real quick that the cost of pool equipment is a lot more than the cost of blankets. I got a second blanket now to cover the heat pump. It's probably my most expensive piece of equipment on this pad. The perfect world, I'm gonna have enough blankets where I'm covering to the ground on every piece of plumbing and every piece of pool equipment. The last thing, if I have it, is I'm gonna throw a tarp over all of this. And this just helps keep the moisture and the wind off of it as well. This pad, I now feel confident that my system is not going to get destroyed from losing power and having freezing temperatures. I feel comfortable for about 3 or 4 days like this. So this is going to raise the temp under this pad almost 15 to 20 degrees. I'm going to wait until we're out of freezing temperatures until I remove the tarp, remove the blankets, put the plugs back in, and fire the equipment back up. In the event you get into freezing temperatures and you didn't do this and your equipment gets destroyed, okay, because it can happen in a hard freeze. At that point, all your warranties associated with your pool equipment are going to be null and voided. All right, manufacturers do not cover freeze damage, so at that point you have to go to your homeowner's insurance. give J&M Pool Company a call and we can walk you through that process and provide all the estimates needed. This is Jacob with J&M. Have a blessed day.